make sure I log everything because I know I won't be writing stuff down.
Right.
But just kind of starting out, guys, wanted to, like I said, topic, let's talk, stick and snag variations. I'm always looking for a more efficient way to do things. We are an R4 school, just to give you a little bit of background. We have been 11P for probably 70% of our snaps in the past 3 years. Another 25% would probably be 12P, so we don't even spend a ton of time in 10, or at least we haven't.
Right.
That may change next year for us. So we've been creative, at least we think we have, and found ways to work traditional Y stick, from 2x2 and 3x1. Also, obviously ways to run 3-man snag and do some different things, and had a lot of success with it last year. Really, at the end of the season, when you break it down, our 3- and 4-man snag game was our most efficient concept that we carried. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off and show you one of the ways that we do things and that we have done things at Sprayberry. And then if anybody's got something they can add, something they can share, then man, that's what I'm here for. So give it to me.
Now, Coach, can I ask a favor of you? Can we kind of work backwards, because everybody's always going from 2 to 3 to 4. Can we work backwards here? Can we go like 4 to 3 to 2?
Yeah, tell me how you want it done, man. Let's do it.
That'd be pretty cool, because I haven't run the snag or the stick out of a 4-man concept other than an RPO. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
So
I've been starting to see more of that for sure. As a DC, guys, Ryan Johnson, Alton, Illinois. Just here to see what you guys are coming up with next.
And Coach, before he gets started, are you running a 3-3 stack? Are you running what do you got going? Base coverage right now, they are a snag stick team.
Well, again, it depends on single width, double width, huh, Pete?
Okay.
It does, yeah.
Pete knows what I'm running.
I used to be a defensive coordinator in my former life, and let's just say Coach and I have swapped some information before. So I've kind of got an idea. So yeah, well, like he said, it's going to depend about the formation.
I will say one thing I do a little bit differently is I do like to use the R4 system when game planning, coverages and things like that, trying to find out different patterns. Again, that's a little bit different than some others do too, I think.
Yeah, I know that's one thing you and I have talked about, Coach, is you use it on the defensive side of the ball to look at the why teams are attacking and how they're most likely to attack you. So I think that's a good thing. So do you want to start with 4-man snag, Coach, and we'll talk our way through it?
That'd be awesome if you don't.
Okay.
Mind.
So the front side of 4-man snag is really simple. It's essentially taking spacing concept and the 3-man snag and putting it all together. We can do it with the back. Can everybody see my screen? I've got it pulled up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we can do it with the back to the play side and get him out in the flat right now. Our favorite way to do it, just because we think it helps open up things for the quarterback, is we like to use a flash motion and get the tailback out in a hurry. Just try to get a safety to trigger, try to get an invert defender to trigger, something that's going to make it easy to identify for the quarterback. Our quarterbacks really got used to it. Obviously you open yourself up for pressure right now. But what we saw, and for us, we're going to set our strength. We're going to half man, half slide, and we're going to set our man side to the motion. And we're going to do that so that we can throw hot in this concept off of anything off the front side. And if you want to come from the boundary, we're going to fan it, and we feel like we can protect that on the back side.
Okay.
On the front side. Now, my good buddy Terrence Banks, he's another football coach here in the Atlanta area. Terrence turned me on to this concept. He's run it a ton for years, and I got a chance to sit down with him and kind of talk through it a little bit. And it's really easy, man. We tell our number 3 guy, you're aiming for the first backer in the box, and you're going to capture his inside shoulder. So if that Mike is sitting in B gap, we're going to run right at his inside shoulder. And if he tries to go over the top of us, we're fine settling underneath. If that Mike wants to blitz, we're going to get our eyes around right now. But you become that quick release valve for the quarterback. The truth is, for us, that route most of the time ends up being right about B gap, regardless of where that linebacker is. Our H here, the number 2 for us in the alignment, is going to run a rhythm corner. So that is the first read in the progression. If the quarterback doesn't feel anything hot, he's going to ignore the rush route, and we're going to work our rhythm route. So we're going to work the rhythm corner. Okay, and we're teaching that receiver. He's going to check the depth of the cornerback pre-snap. If the cornerback's deep, if they're showing quarters or cover 3, he is going to try to keep it high unless that corner really bails to stay on top of it, at which point we do give our receivers the ability to bend the route, but we tell him your window is at 15 yards and it can't be more shallow than that. Our outside receiver is working just the traditional snag. We're gonna try to use the field as much as we can, but we're gonna be 2 to 3 yards inside the numbers. We're gonna put the H 2 to 3 yards inside of the hash, and that outside receiver is going to work inside shoulder of the first defender inside of him. So for us, we would read it 1 to the corner, 2 to the snag route, and then we've got the check down either to the number 3 or to the tailback, who's number 4. The back side of this concept is where you have a little bit of freedom, and it can be a game plan. It can be signaled. It can be tagged. If you got the guy backside and you're getting a lot of man-to-man coverage, and they're not playing a safety over the top, slant, such a great tag. If you're getting something off, I'm a big fan of speed out. So we've used speed out in that situation. If teams get pressed, they'll alert the vertical, and if you like the matchup, take the matchup. But this is how we would start with our 4-man snag.
Now, are y'all not worried? And I'm new to Georgia ball, so hear me out on this, because I've been in Florida for the past since 2016. So defenses aren't as sound down here as they are in places that I've been previous.
Yep.
Are y'all not worried about like a book? I call it a book coverage, which is just a read on 2 and 3 as opposed to 1 and 2.
So yeah, we get teams that'll ice one, walk somebody outside, and they'll essentially shrink the field, play mini, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So we get it. We've certainly seen that, and we honestly haven't seen a ton of it recently. And I've always kind of been surprised. I know I was seeing it more 2-3 years ago. Now it just seems like everybody's trying to be Saban or trying to be Patterson, and they're playing solo. They're playing quarters out there. They're robbing from the backside, or they're just playing cover 1.
Right.
But when we see teams shrink the field, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that inside release with the H. We tell him, if you're getting a collision player, and we pretty much tell all of our inside receivers, if there's a collision defender underneath the hard deck, so if he's sitting at 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, he's sitting under.
We have to release inside of him because we want to do obviously what we can to avoid that collision. And then we feel like, based on the safety's alignment, that we have a chance to beat the safety on that corner ball. Now, if they want to take the safety and walk that safety, if they're gonna
right, if they're gonna crawl south, I call it.
Yeah, yes. So I mean, if they're gonna put a guy here, they're gonna ice him, and they want to walk this safety all the way to here, and then play the backside guy right there. Well, at that point, if we can't beat this guy with leverage, we can tag this with a cop route. Is one option. Hold the backside safety with some type of a vertical route.
Right, or a pump and chump type play.
Or call another concept.
Yeah,
but that's where we're going to start with our 4-man snag.
Now, shut down. I know you're a defensive guy. Sorry, Coach, I don't know your name. I'm still new to this whole e-learning shit. Is that something similar to what you would do on defense, or?
Yeah, I mean, again, it just obviously the main thing is that tailback swing, and how are you going to handle him? You know, that's kind of where I look at it. You know, again, it's an easy throw. But I mean, we've ran it a couple different ways. We've actually kind of ran it to where we've turned around and ran man on one, ran three the rest of the field as well. Obviously, we have manned up on one, ran some two read, but again, for the most part, we try to stick to our rules.
And it also probably depends on who the Jimmies and the Joes are.
Exactly.
All right, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, around, you know, again, most places here in Illinois, especially, quarterback, tailback are normally your guys.
Right.
I will say this. The only defenses we played that I didn't feel comfortable carrying this and having it a big part of our package were teams that were going to be a true odd stack, and they were always going to be bringing 5. The question was where, and they have enough guys underneath that it makes it easier for them. You know, we would get something, you know, kind of a bump that almost ended up looking like a 3-4, where we would get a guy that could easily trigger here, and then they could still spot drop on the other side and match our numbers underneath. With the corner sinking off, obviously could match that rhythm corner. So anything else that we saw, whether, you know, from a 4-man front or an odd front, we were comfortable having this in our package. You know, whether it was 4-man or 3-man, a lot of times it was based on how much pressure we thought they were going to bring and how good their corners were. If their corners were better than our guys on the outside, we were going to go 3-man snag, and we were actually going to get in a condensed set to do it. That was one of the biggest successes we had this year from a formation standpoint, was getting into our
a tight trips.
Sets. We would get into a tight trips. We would get into a 2x2. Let me pull a couple up here.
Oh, Coach, I'll pull them.
Dude, man, y'all have huddle right now? We ain't paid the bill, so we don't have huddle right now.
Well, sorry about that. We've got it. We're about run out of damn space on it.
Well, we have that problem too.
That's not the freaking play I want. Let's see. So,
and trust me, I'm definitely new to all this. Hell, I just got a cell phone 2 years ago, fellas.
Yeah, Coach, that's my life. That's what I'm trying to be.
Oh, we've got one on our staff that definitely lives like that. All right, so let's So, you know, like I said, just getting back, you know, so teams that were going to pressure a lot like this team, we would get into a compressed set like this, and we would work our scat. We would work a 3-man snag concept. So here, he's going to be our rhythm corner. Outside receiver still going to be our snag. We'll still get him in the flat. We could have him check release however we wanted to and work whatever concept backside. So a lot of times it was a basic route or a dig route from the backside with either a check release or a pivot from number 2. We would also do some
Coach, when you're done, leave that. Leave where you're at right now, if you don't mind, because I'm going to play a little devil's advocate from where I was at in Florida.
Go.
So I moved from Kentucky, thought that I was going to have better athletes. And so I kind of changed my snag concept where my 1 was always my snag.
Yep.
My 2 was always my vertical, and my 3 was also my choice. Okay. And the choice he had was based on man or zone coverage. If it's man, we're going to take him vert now because my guy's going to win 9 out of 10 times against an outside linebacker in my head.
So he's going to will that right now if he's coming out of the backfield.
See, now, and that's where I differ, is in this look right here where I have your corner down, is my number 2 is actually going to quick wheel it. Okay. And my 3 is going to seam it.
Yep. So
do y'all ever see anything like that up here? Or,
so you're going to have him release.
I'm going to quick wheel it, 1, 2, get out.
Seam.
Yep. Snag it.
So we actually run a similar concept to that. We actually call it steal. So snag wheel is kind of the concept. So the way we kind of name our playbook is whenever we put two concepts together, we come up with a word that kind of ties it all together. So steal is snag wheel, and we run it on a 3-man surface. It'll only be run on a 3-man surface. We don't typically ever run that guy through the middle of the field, but we just keep him on a shoot route, and we'll go snag wheel. We say attach the corner on the snag route, throw the wheel, and we're just trusting that we're going to be able to beat that safety over the top.
Now, Coach Nick, do y'all ever run it with a jet out of your 2 under there?
We don't.
Send
We're
two
not
to the flat, that jet to the flat, and that's when we would send F out.
We're not a big motion team, just because Sean Sutton's our offense coordinator. He's a long rush guy.
Yeah.
So Sean and I kind of believe the same thing on this. We think that the more you motion, the more the picture changes for the quarterback. And we just want to have a set picture for the quarterback so that he doesn't have to think a whole lot. You know, Clay doesn't necessarily have the brightest guys in the world. So the simpler we can make it for these guys and the less moving parts that we can have, the easier it is for us. And you know, we are fortunate to have some of those athletes that can just go up and get it. So the more simple we can make this thing, the better it is for us. But that's just something that we game plan with, and it's not really a tag for us. It's just a separate play call.
See, because we would have that same exact play, and we would call it snag, 30 or 50 pro, whatever you want to designate it. And then we'd also RPO it right behind it. And the RPO would be Zulu or zone left, whatever y'all want to call it, with that same jet motion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do. Our RPO packages, like I said, we don't have the brightest guys in the world. So our RPO package is typically, hey, we're just going to run zone downhill or power downhill at you, and then we're going to stand up and throw a hitch behind the linebacker if he commits. So that's the extent of our RPO stuff. We try and keep that pretty simple.
Yeah.
Does anybody else do anything? Coach DeWeese, do you do anything similar to what we got going here?
My first year at Sprayberry, we did a little bit. We had a quarterback that was sharp. And he understood it, and I could throw anything at him, and he was going to be right most of the time. He was going to be conservative a lot of times, but he was going to be right a lot. So we did do where we would jet, work the snag behind it, or work our zone game with the snag behind it. We did a decent amount of that with him. We got away from it year 2. We had a kid that was just he was a better runner, so everything was more quarterback reading the run game. And then year 3, we didn't really do a ton of it. It just didn't necessarily fit into who we were. It could be good. There's no question about that. No question at all.
Like for real, like.
Anybody else got anything else? Any questions? I know we got some good football coaches on here.
I know you were talking about when from the trips look about if they try to play essentially cover 2.
Yes, sir.
With the strong safety and the free, and just lock that corner on. Our defense plays that they call it rock. They play that side of a lot. And what I've come to like against it is, of course, sending it because the guy over H is essentially reading number 2. So if number 2 goes vertical, he's got to. And I think Coach mentioned that back.
Mommy got to take a
that's going to be where you make your money against that coverage. But also, what we would tag to the snag concept is we just tag H on the wheel right and tell him try to get outside of that strong safety. So his job is to not get beat outside. So he's going to turn and run with you. If he turns and runs, then your flat back is going to be. I think you have to be as a play caller. You have to be. You get a lot of that stuff with getting the ball to your back in the flat. That's where you're gonna make a lot
No, I'll be right back. I gotta get something ready.
So you can kind of book him unless you just got a guy right there that you can try to.
I'll rock, mommy, and teach rock. So lay it back.
But I think really focusing on attacking that area, making that flat defender right or wrong. Because number 3 is sinking, or he's going to go vertical with number 2 because number 2 gets an outside release. I think that's something that works for us against that coverage. Then, of course, you can go backside and play 2-on-2 with the corner and the linebacker if you want to.
It's a great way to put a stretch on that flat defender. That first year that I was at Sprayberry, we did mess around some with running it like this, actually, because we felt like if we could pull him off the line, we had a chance to work away from this safety. It almost ended up being more like a seam route than it did.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and that's how we run our traditional curl concept. We don't run it's not necessarily our snag. It plays out similarly. When we run our curl, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to we'll get him there and settle. We can get him in the wheel. But I this year we're probably going to run a lot of that concept off of our jet motion.
And now, are y'all going to read the corners hips?
So as far as what our read progression, so we're going to rhythm the seam route here. We're going to look to drive that before the safety can get over, and then we're going to come out and pre-snap. He'll make a decision based on which one we're reading here.
Right,
we're
2 to 3
on
or
the
4
outside.
or whatever.
We're looking for the wheel as our read route. If we're getting soft coverage, we're looking here for the read route.
Yeah.
But we like marrying it. I love, to me, concepts like this just groove so well with play action. If you have it in, if you're a power read team and can run a protection that allows you, to show power read, pull the guard, get those backers and hold this safety just a minute. I feel like you really get a chance there. One of the things I like to do too is, you see teams run so many fade routes, and sometimes quarterbacks just have a knack for them, but not a lot of guys do. I have found that an inside release seam read is an easier throw for the average quarterback. And now you talk about putting that safety in a bind. It's not very straight lines, especially if you give the play action, flip the play action, and now put the back coming into the boundary.
The strong. Coming
there. So, now, you can rhythm this. You can really read off of that safety. If he wants to get here, you come backside. If he stays on the hash, you look to drive the seam route. You've got your read routes on the outside. We have played with some things like that in 2 years ago in particular. Say that again, Coach. Anybody have any other questions? Anybody got anything they want to add, man? Something you can share? I believe everybody has the ability to share their screen. On my camera, if you go up to the top, there is an option. There's an option to share your screen.
All right, let me see if I can
I
find
think it said couldn't share while you were sharing the screen, I believe.
Okay, let's see what happens when I. All right.
Like I said, I'm just trying to figure it all out too. So I just happen to hit the button.
Hold on, sorry fellas, that's on me.
How do I get the
Okay,
Oh,
it should be set where
shit.
multiple
Oh,
guys can-
Jesus Christ. There it is.
All right, what you got, Coach?
Who, myself or shut down?
Anybody?
So,
Oh, I didn't necessarily have anything, Coach. I was just saying that I didn't think anybody could share it until your screen was down.
It's set to multiple share. Like I said, if you guys got here late, this is my first time, man. So we all learning together. I know Coach Owens probably got some good stuff to share. I've seen that man work before. Speak up, Coach.
I'm just here to enjoy the chat.
Man, so all right, so you want to start backwards with four-man snag, kind of walk through it. Anything else? Any other questions about, ways to window dress it, anything?
okay, now, all right, I'll play devil's advocate.
Give
So
it.
you're going with your 3-by or your 4-by. Let's go 3-by with your tail weak Now, will you ever run what I call a hinge route, which is just a post sideline?
From
Right,
like
so
the
he's gonna
single
break.
receiver.
Yeah, so your X is gonna break at 7, and then at 10 he's gonna come flat back to the sideline right now.
Oh, there it is.
We call it a pinch route.
Yeah, we call that hinge
Yep.
right here because it looks like a damn door.
If
And that's been our biggest play side power snag, whatever you want to get after with our choice. That has been our bingo almost every year and every place I've been in. I've been at 3 different schools in 6 years.
we honestly didn't run enough of it last year. We went through some injuries and had to do some different things receiver wise. But we like with our drive concept, right? If we want to hit that post on our drive concept, which we do, and teams start playing to take that post away, and playing with inside leverage, we will tag a we'll tag the pinch route to it. We got to the point late in the season where we gave the quarterback, if he looked out there and saw leverage that he liked, he would just quick signal
At the hip, whatever.
Receiver, yeah, and it was on at that point. That was a very good route to us. If teams that wanted to play cover 3, even teams that wanted to play man to man, but we're going to play off man, we run so many inside routes with that single receiver. They have to protect the inside leverage. And it really gave our kids, more so than like a traditional comeback route, it gave our kids a chance to go get open. And they were big fans of it.
And I think the biggest part of it was, for us at least down here, is that we get stupid flow down in Florida. I mean, we get dumb flow.
Oh yeah.
So that weak side safety, he's going to come and try and fit like a strong A, which is just silly. And we know that going into the Friday night game. So when he's leaving fast, I mean, we're solo and that kid's trying to protect against a go / a post over top. So when he comes flat, he's got a +7 after catch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We I like being able to give this guy. If you got the dude backside, why not, man? Give him the freedom and let him go to work. So that's one of the things that if you're going to be too high against trips, one of the things that I spend my Sunday doing is trying to figure out what's going to make this guy trigger. What's going to get his eyes, keep him over here. So we'll play some different games. Like if we want to run our curl concept, we feel like that's going to pull him. We can work that pinch route backside of that. We feel like there's a lot of different ways to do it. And, part of it is, like I said, it's such a natural marriage for drive. If you're working that dig here and his hips are in here, he's working that dig, and you've got the post route here and you've hit it a couple times. One of the things that I've kind of been looking at in the off season is, with that pinch route in particular, as much drive route as we run, instead of having him dig up, turn it into a corner, go the shallow and burst to the seam, and now really put that safety in a tough divide. Let your back check, get him out late to the flat if you need him there. Try to hold the corner if we're playing too high.
Now, how does your protection change on something like that? Because now, in my opinion, you got 3 verts.
For sure. So for us, one, we're going to give the quarterback something out here. We're going to give him a fin route or something we feel like he can get the ball out in a hurry. Maybe it's a slant route. What we would probably do here is 6-man protect it, whether we brought him across the quarterback or just had him check. But we would probably 6-man up and then through to the flat, so that if they want to play that little mini concept like you talked about earlier, where he's a true flat player, now our expectation is he's going to stem inside, work. If he realizes that this corner sinks beneath him, our expectation is
we're going to take that corner now.
We're going to bring it. We're going to bring it taller, bring it higher. The tough thing to me is you got to have a dude that understands work is split in his release. If these two are going to be here, I don't want to work vertical and get him to sink. You know, I need to be in a position where I can show that I'm hard underneath and then climb right now. And the truth is, this is going to develop late, and that's what we talked to the quarterback about.
Okay.
You know, if this is going to be our rhythm route, you know, this has to be the second part of our read. You know, because if he's going to start shallow and then come, you're expecting to pull the backer, hopefully pull the mic up a little bit with the flash fake, hold him so that you can now slip behind him. And again, eyes here. You know, you're just putting him in a bind now. He can't.
That's what I
was
just getting ready to say, Coach. You start seeing a lot more of the climb route hitting up, especially with the RPOs. You know, again, I got game film. Guys are 5 yards down the field on a damn RPO, and you're trying to read a hi hat. I mean, reading a hi hat has become almost it's a shaky. You know, especially with a high school kid.
It's hard. I mean, you know, you better be keying guards if you're going to do it, because the way guys will lock a backside tackle or gap hinge a backside tackle to RPO stuff, you know, you're in trouble if that's where your eyes are, in my opinion.
And it becomes consistently open. That right there at 5 to 7 is always open for him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a chance to be. You know, I think the other route that gives this concept a lot of problems and kind of always has is in Ohio State's always done. Urban's always done a ton of it. Dan Mullen's always done a ton of it. But, you know, they also have really damn good offensive linemen. But they'll work the pivot route, you know, whether they're dig here, you know.
Crosser there.
Boom. Right there, you know. I've seen it done a few different ways. Somebody a couple of years ago was running it here with the wheel route.
Western Michigan, they used to call it scat.
Yes. So, you know, I mean, that's another way to combat that coverage. I think you can do the same. We've done it. Typically, if I know if I want to run that, I like doing it out of 2x2. That's just the way I've always been a fan of running that particular concept.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, we do something similar, but with sort of, we want to be able to do both. I want to be able to, of course, we like everybody else, our quarterbacks read from safeties down, and we like to be able to manipulate them, but we also like to be able to hold them, I guess, like everybody else. So we run our climb. We can't pass protect worth the crap. So we run our climbs a lot quicker. We're not getting upfield vertically at all. We're trying to get width and depth at the same time.
Right.
And so most of the time we're going to run our climb with our number 3.
So for him,
because he's going to split safeties right now. He's a quick hot read because our eyes are on safeties anyway.
Yep.
So we're going to know right now what the safety picture is going to be.
Right.
And so what we'll do is we tag we'll tag the individual guy with our concept. So let's say we're running a 2-man curl flat concept. So 1 and 2 are running curl flat. Well, number 3 knows automatically he's running the climb. So we're going to go from hot, climb, see the picture that way. And my quarterbacks tend to like that. I don't know if y'all do that or if it helps out or not. If we try to run an actual climb with number 2, we get hit in the mouth.
Yeah, it does. That's very similar to how we run our curl route.
Question for you guys. Sorry,
if
Coach.
You don't mind me, Coach. Where does that come from? Is that based out of your 2-man? Is that based out of your 3-man? Like, what is that based out of?
Who, me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have the ability. We do concepts, but we also tag individual players. And so, like, if we were running a 3-man concept, there may be a climb already built in for number 3, and we could tag to where we could run curl flat and tag number 2 to run the climb.
Drag.
So if we want to do, whatever we want to do, whatever the concept, we learn our concepts first, and then our individual routes we tag or whatever. But I was just saying, most of the time when we're 3x1, most of our opponents know we're going to take 3, and we don't care that they know. We're going to take 3. We're going to run climb right now.
Run him down the pipe and make them show you
if you're showing too high, we want to know if you were talking about that backside safety flowing and cheating and things like that. We want our quarterback to know right now that that's what he's doing.
What are you doing with your single receiver, Brad?
It depends. Most of the time, like Coach said a while ago, we're going to isolate that guy. We have the ability to move any of these guys anywhere we want to. So if we like the backside matchup, we may manipulate it to where we do throw, the slant or the fade or whatever on the backside. But I do like your read concept. So now if we can manipulate a backside safety, we're going to run either fade or read backside. You know,
I'll say this. One of the things that Dub Maddox and the R4 guys do, and it's out there on this free stuff. I'm not selling the single. They take this single receiver and they run him on the shallow.
I know him, but
We've had some good success with that.
I don't know.
I've also run the comeback on the backside of my clients a lot too. Comeback's been very effective too. So, and we've got that built in as well.
Yes. We like the shallow because, again, it holds that mic and gives a chance to open up that climb route or that pipe route by number 3.
All right, this actually fits into what you're talking about here, Pete. Are y'all teaching that climb route? Are y'all teaching that like Y cross? Are you giving him definitive rules, over 1, under 1, over 2? And what do you do then if you are? What are you telling that guy if you have 2, what I call 30 backers, 2 backers just basically where 3 technically need?
So what we're telling our guys is your number one goal is to clear the backers, and then you're going to work away from that safety. So if that safety is just getting depth, they're sitting there on the hash, you're going to see our guys are going to be skinny. If the safety rotates to the middle of the field, we're going to bend it, and we're going to cross it. So for us in this concept, we're not treating it old
Like
school
Y cross.
95. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's not under Sam over Mike. We have had that in the past, and honestly, we never hit the cross. We have more success with other routes in that concept. Like we ran that concept last year, never to hit the crosser. We ran it to basically get a double post look and put the safety in a bind and try to go up top.
I got you.
Now, pause where everybody's at. Coach Deweese, you have a great drawing up here. Give me a play call for it. So I'm calling right trips. To me, this is right trips hook.
So for us, this would be tray open, rip curl.
Tray open, rip.
Rip curl. Rip's a protection. Curl's a concept. Everything's built in. That's how we would do it.
Hey, Coach, I will say is one variation that I've seen that I personally did not like as a defensive coordinator going against is, again, it was basically an empty concept, but you're basically taking that W route, and he's set up as a tight end, so it's more quads, tight quads look. They got him running that. They got the Z running the snag, 2's running the corner, and 3's running, that bubble route, that flat route.
So there?
Yeah.
No,
it's more you would have the T out as a trips look.
Gotcha.
Already. Well, same thing. You can flare most of them. You can go through.
But they end
actually,
up like
they're running that Z. They're running that Z more as a one step straight arrow kind of snag, trying to
almost like a slant
yeah.
route. Yeah, I
they're
know
almost
a lot of
running
guys.
that Z route, almost like a slant route.
I know a lot of guys
Trying to get right. Yeah, trying to get right there,
Yep.
Coach. Trying to get right.
That's
there.
actually how we run our snag. We don't push it. We one step slant, set it down right behind where that backer left from.
Yeah.
That's my smash.
If we get a press corner, that's how we tell our number ones to run their snag, because they're not going to get the ball. So
Right.
we run a lot of 2-man snag backside of this. So if we get a press corner, we tell the receiver he's aiming at the inside shoulder of that flat defender.
Yep.
Really, we're going to create a rub route, essentially.
Yep. I've taught it like this before. I know a lot of guys have had a ton of success treating it like the one-step slant. Our kids have gotten very comfortable in finding that window in the zone. And we do it so much out of compressed sets where, when we get in one of our compressed sets, now the release is a little bit different, but the thought process is still the same for all of our kids. Like, here you look at the receiver up top into the boundary, he's almost going to outside stem his release before he works to find the hole right there. Now here, because we run it in the boundary, they got the right coverage called at the right time. We take the flat. We should have come down backside because we got the basic wide open. But we have found that running it.
That's nice film, though, Coach. Shit.
Well, from their press box, it is. We have found, you can see here the kid gets spun around like a rag doll. But we have had a ton of success, like I said, with our kids understanding of finding that zone and settling in that zone. And we found different formations we can work it out of to protect. Like that was a 7-man protection. This is going to be out of a 5-man protection.
Pause there, Coach. Go back 2. One more. Pause. Okay, so you have a snag to the front side to the field.
Yep.
You got number, I guess he's number 2. He's running the corner now. Number 1 is sitting.
Yep.
Number 3 is flat. You see 2 shoulders. You should on paper. Let's talk. You should take that snag right here.
That ball should be out right now. We flat out. They go with a little simulated pressure here, and you see our tackle fans out to a guy that runs with the tailback.
Right.
And they had our number on this one, but it's there. What we want is that snag right there, right now.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I'm not seeing curtains.
Find a different game right here.
Basically.
You can see, yeah. So we're trips here. Tailback is to the weak side here. So we're going to work the same thing. So we're going to work the corner. He's going to work the snag. He's into the backside. This week backside. So right backside, we're working the seam route.
So he should hit number 1 right here.
Right. Well, right here, 1's open, but his read progression, he sees the corner open his hips flat right now into that hip angle. And so he sees right now all this uncapped space. So he's trying to throw that ball into that window. And it's a catchable ball.
That hips open wrong. Do y'all not teach that his hips open the field goal post? So take what he's giving you because he's got someone coming reverse.
It's all about uncapped space for us.
Yeah.
Know where your routes are going and where the grass is.
R4.
R4 is not a suggestion; it's a way of life, right, Coach?
Yeah, no doubt.
It is. So
accelerate everything.
Accelerate everything. So when he sees this, the corner starts to sink off and he levels, right? Playing it like a hard 2 when he sees 3 to the flat. And they actually end up with 3 to the flat. So this guy on his release is reading the safety. That safety holds right there and doesn't take outside leverage. He's going to bend it and go right now. And if that safety releases hard out here, this dude's almost just going to settle up. He's not even going to fully carry it out. There's no doubt our snag route is wide ass open right here.
What we teach is we go through long ass progressions, a little bit old school. Hips open to the shoulders. Take the shoulders now.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I'm the same, Coach. I'm with the progression. I haven't jumped on the R4 train yet.
Same film right here. It's just a different angle of it. But, I mean, you can see right there, he's got the space to throw the out. The ball just sails on him. The kid still probably should have caught it.
Oh, no doubt. Now, Coach, what were you going to say about the R4? Owens?
I'm just saying, I'm like you. I'm still on the progressions. I haven't made the jump to the R4 yet. Still trying to learn about it.
Man, I look. There's nothing. There's a bad decision here, but same deal.
I'm drinking the plate.
You can see.
I'm drinking it.
Same thing here, man. With the R4 stuff. The progression reads, all I'm doing is trying to teach my quarterback how to go through those progression reads faster.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Pre-snap, what's your read? What are you telling your guy right now?
So pre-snap right here, okay, we told him we had an inside seam release with our fastest receiver right here, okay? We felt like we could beat this corner anytime he gets man-to-man. So we told him in this game, if you get it, you take it if you like it. We told him you got to be wary of that backside safety. So first play of the game, we go up top, get a pass interference on the kid was wide open, and the guy just dives and grabs him from behind just to save him because we beat him on the inside release. But it's how we open the game. So this is later in the game. The safety's now being a little bit more patient. So if he does not like it, So our rhythm route is going to be right here.
So that's
Okay.
one.
We're going to get him in the flat. That's actually 3. So we're 1 on the corner, 2 on the snag, 3 on the flat, and this is all pre-snap for us.
See,
Okay.
now
A lot of uncapped space over there,
A
Coach.
whole lot of uncapped space over there.
So now, Coach, we're reverse is that we are snag is always one.
Your first read? Yes.
Always.
Yep.
If I call snag, I want that snag right here, right now.
We're very.
I think
simple.
it probably depends on how you're blocking it up front too, Coach.
And now, how do y'all do it?
We can 5-man protect it. We can 6-man protect it. Our protections are really easy, man. Everything for our O-line is half man, half slide. There are certain pressure looks that will force us into a full slide, but it's very rare. So, we use colors, rip, Liz, and then colors
Right.
for our protections. So, green and gold is 1. It's a 5-man. Brown and black is a 6-man. We can keep going. Orange and yellow, gray and silver.
Oh, yeah, everybody's got
changes,
some
right. So the rules for
All part of the system.
Yeah, it is. And the rules for the O-line don't change. So for us here, this is Liz. So we're going to fan to the left. We're going to be man to the right. Backs checking inside, outside, away from the protection call in this one.
Man, he's releasing.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Pete. Why do you do inside out?
For our protection?
Yes.
Well, so if this guy's going to walk up to the line of scrimmage and we think he's an immediate threat, then we're not as concerned about being inside out. We're going to take most dangerous man. But from a progression standpoint, we just train his eyes inside out. I'll be honest with you, it's the way I've always done it. And there's a lot of things I've changed over my life, but I've never had reason to change that one.
So the reason I asked you that because I was kind of very similar until I got to Clay, and now we read outside in. And the reason for that is because when you do get that full slide and that you're half sliding, well, when that right guard in this instance, say that Mike comes, but they slant away and everybody has to slide to that left, that Mike's coming right into that right guard's gap. So we actually just say, hey, you know what? You're outside in now. And
you count on the guard being able to fan up.
Exactly. Count on the guard to be able to sort it out. Say, okay, I'm stepping to my gap now. I'm uncovered. Step to my gap. Here's a guy coming in my gap. I've got him.
Makes sense.
Let me kind of simulate something that we toyed with down here. Is we toyed between a plus and a minus team. So if out of your end zone, Coach, all right, hold on, you had one there. You had an end zone.
End zone. I'm trying to go back.
Pause it right there. So some quarters or some games we would be a plus team, and then other quarters or other games we would be a minus team. So right now we're plus because I almost have a linebacker safety stack on my left hand side of my screen.
Okay.
So we're going to plus, plus, plus. That means my center is going to work to my plus, right? But let's just say that safety started to drift just to the middle part, not even post-snap, pre-snap, to the middle part of that linebacker to me. We are going to go minus, 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 and we're going to go negative, basically, so that we're man to the weak and then slide to the strong.
Who makes that decision, Coach?
So we literally coach it play to play, or not play to play, quarter to quarter, but more or less when we made adjustments was halftime.
So if you get on the sideline and you're looking at the film, and
because our first play always is Zulu, right?
Right.
That's our first play. I don't know why, but we are always a Zulu first. So right now I have double stack to my left. I'm a plus, plus, plus. So I'm going to expect a combo out of 52 and 71. We're going to stack 44, I think is his name or his number.
Yeah.
And we're going to let this little pencil neck over here, and he's expecting to make tackle against best guy on my team. Now, let's take that number 12 and put him just head up on that linebacker. So his pre-alignment is right where his X is. We are minus, minus, minus. So that center is no longer regarded for that left tackle. This is still Zulu, but it's not my problem anymore. His first job is to make sure there's not a cross, but we're working left right now. What it does is it confuses our Zulu and our Zorro options. Does that make any sense to anybody?
And that Zulu and Zorro is your zone game?
Yeah. Zulu zone left, Zorro zone right.
Right.
My biggest question would be, how many times does it confuse them?
Never.
Because I always feel like it doesn't matter what you know or how much you know. It's what, they know and how much they can grasp and concept.
Snap read. So what our center does is he IDs with the referee. Hey, referees number one, referees number one. I got two left. We're plus.
So the center's who makes the call.
All based off of the referee.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I'm just, again,
that's what made it.
I forgot what level you're at, Coach. Again, school size. How much time you have to work with guys. I think all that goes.
And Steve, Florida has super flexible rules to where we can not work with the guys that we're working with at the same time. But what it did for us is it let us. We're gonna ID the ref. Are there two guys to his left? Are there two guys to his right? That's our plus and minus. And it made it very, very difficult for people to pick up our combos, which made our RPOs for our quarterback super easy.
And actually there probably is going to be a day next week where I try to do another one and talk about some zone run game. We learned some things last year that were really good to us that I will probably never change from going forward. But I'm always looking to pick up and see what other guys are doing. So I definitely want to spend some time talking about that. Before we go, because I don't want to go too much longer, is there anything in particular anybody wants to see, whether it's from scat or from a three-man snag or from a stick concept? Anything in particular anybody wants to talk about or look at?
I don't think we got too much into stick. Whatever you got on stick.
We didn't get a ton into it. Yes.
Hey, can you just walk me through stick real quick and how y'all run it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find any coaching point I can to make it a little bit better for us.
Yeah, I will for sure. So, for us. I'm playing Fortnite. So for us, stick, we'll run it to the field, we'll run it to the boundary. Don't really care either way. I like it to the boundary against most defenses. I struggle a little bit again with an odd stack because they've just got the extra hat underneath. But so for us, if we're going to run stick, short and underneath defender out here somewhere. If we're going to run stick, it's going to start. We're going to we'll push the back out a ton to run it. Now we can run him just from home base and let him get out in the flat, but we like giving the quarterback that picture with coverage, and we find that a lot of teams, especially quarters teams, they're going to get that flat guy out there right now, and it's just going to make it easier for us to hit the stick route. So for us, what we're going to do right here, we're going to work our stick to the left. So we're going to fan away from it because we're giving him hot routes to the front side. So we're going to work our man side to the concept, because just like on the four-man snag, we're giving him quick release routes, on the front side. So what we're going to do is we're working everything off of this defender. I used to be big on specific landmark, and I used to be big on specific depth. What we've gotten to the point is we tell this guy that our goal is to take best release to 6 yards and show your numbers to the quarterback. So if that guy's going to be head up on you, we're going to run right at him and then stem inside and show our numbers. If he's inside leverage, we're going to work vertical, try to get him to clear behind us. One thing we have told our guys is if this dude just disappears right now, if he goes and takes the cheese on this motion right now, get your head around, and I don't care if you're at 4 yards or 3 yards, because you're probably getting the football immediately. Our outside receiver is pretty much just a pre-snap look. We teach this receiver I used to teach it as the more route, must outside release, got to try to pull the corner, and that's really not what I'm doing anymore. We're teaching this receiver, you are going to run right at the leverage of that corner. When I was still a defensive coordinator several years ago, Lassiter High School was absolutely rolling and had Eddie Prince and all these dudes, and it would piss me off because they would keep throwing it to their best players out in the flat, and every damn time it was like the receiver would be blocking the corner. And I don't know if this is how they were teaching it, but this is the closest thing that I've found to getting me there. So if he's going to be a cover 2 corner, we're going to run right at his outside hip, and we're going to run through his hip to go vertical. If it's cover 3 or cover 4 and he's inside of me, I'm going to run right at his outside hip, and I'm going to run through it in my vertical route. If I realize he's starting to stick his foot in the ground and drive, then I'm going to start blocking him, and we're just going to take it. We're going to hope the ball's already out and it's a legal block at that point in time. But so we're teaching him literally run through the defender and get vertical as fast as you can. On the back side, I've done some different things. The most common thing for us is we're going to work a levels concept on the back side.
Yep.
So what we're basically doing, again, if you're talking R4, is we're treating both of these routes like rhythm routes. So we're looking right now to work this horizontal stretch on this outside linebacker flat defender. So they're kind of both our first read. Our second read is the dig, and our rush read is backside all the way back to that fin route. We don't do a good job getting to that fin.
Now, when your number 1 gets stemmed or he gets beat, is he fanning out sideline?
The number 1 who? Here?
No, to your left. Your number 1 on your screen.
Okay. So if he
no. I'm sorry. Your number 2 receiver. Your number 1 on the screen.
So yeah, I don't know why that's numbered like that. Yeah. Okay. So if he gets what now? If he gets beat?
Yeah, if he's beat because he can't make a decision. He's a sophomore. He's a freshman. Whatever.
Okay. So here we go. So I'm running. He's inside of me. I'm running right at his inside hip. I'm going to stick my foot in the ground at 6 yards, and if that dude's sitting there, that's fine. Just stand there because all I've done now is set the rub for this guy.
Okay.
That's we are counting on him. We are counting on him to go and defend this. Again, that's one reason we use that motion. It speeds everything up for the defense and for the quarterback. So, we don't think that this guy can get here consistently. If we use that push motion and he's going to fly out here to take him, we don't think this guy can consistently get to that stick route.
So one thing that's kind of helped us too, and playing a little devil's advocate, what happens? You get a true cover 2 look. I mean, true as can be. That guy's sitting there. He's hard on him. He's pressed. You're telling him more attack the outside leverage. He's sitting down the shoot route by the F. You got a linebacker sitting underneath the stick route. What are you telling number 1?
We're telling number 1 we're going to call snag next time and not stick.
Okay.
I mean, that's the legitimate answers. I'm the first one to tell my kids, guys, sometimes I'm wrong.
So let me tell you something
cover 2,
to mitigate that so we don't have a bad play call.
All right.
What we're doing is what we're telling that number 1 is rather than outside release, more old school, we're saying, hey, run a wow. And what wow is walking wide. So what you're going to do is you're basically going to get behind that corner, walk to the tick marks, and get to about 12 yards on the tick marks and sit down. So he's just sitting there, and he's at the tick mark, and he's just going to sit down right about 12, and we're going to hole shot that. We're going to drill a hole shot right in between the corner and safety.
I like it. So
walking wide. And so as soon as that corner comes down, if we're 5 yards and he's coming down hard on that motion, we're telling him walking wide to 12 yards on the tick mark and sit down.
And it's going to make it hard on that safety to get off the hash.
Yeah, and then eventually that safety's got to push and push and push. And then you got that guy flying over the top. You can hit a cop route or whatever. You're setting something else up back behind it.
So let me ask you this, Nick. Let's say I'm running my stick to the field. Where are you going to align that outside receiver? Because you got the dude that can throw it all the way to those ticks. Then
he's not going to
for a game or 2.
He's going to be right about there. And we're going to tell him top of the numbers.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. That's what I figured.
Yep, just like you have it drawn up right there.
I like it.
So a good coaching point I've gotten on the stick, like I got it from Russ Calloway a couple of years ago, who was at Sanford forever. And it's just, I don't know if it's old school air raid, Franklin stuff, but, he taught it, and it was really good for our kids because it made it real easy. So we gave our kids a buzzword on the stick that your spotter, man, your string attached to number 2.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so you're connected to the inside shoulder of the flat defender. Okay, so if he widens, you widen with him. So that, like you were talking about, Pete, earlier, where you didn't think the mic could fit that stick. Now you're running away from the mic and you're just sacrificing the shoot. Where if he flies out there, now you're string attached, boom, ball now.
I like that, Coach.
Same thing.
We have not used that, but I like that.
And then he sits inside. So if he sits inside, if he's inside leverage you pre-snap, you just run right at him, and now you're freeing up the shoot. Because you can't look. I mean, I know, we talk about, well, if they're a hard 2, and I like that coaching point that Nick gave, with the wow. But look, if you rush forward, you can't stop stick if the ball's on time.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, we ran against a lot of odd stack teams because they were bringing the 3 down and they were bringing the mic late, and it was just, they just didn't have enough.
Yep.
Or we out leverage them some way, we'd motion from 2x2 to trips and let the trips guy be the shoot, and they all wanted to chase the shoot, and we just banged the stick.
Yep. What do you teach your stick guy against man-to-man?
Shit.
Anybody got anything?
One thing we used to do.
You know what I teach the quarterback? Run it, throw it to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, make the guy outrun him. Now, one thing we used to do with Jake Pete was we would just call it nod, and you're getting to 5 yards. If that guy's man on you, you're slipping and running basically like a win route.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what, when I was with Jake and when you guys were over at Milton, that's kind of how we would do that.
Yeah.
You guys would give us that one man box, so
Hey, it worked.
It did. It sure did.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, what was your WOW acronym?
Say that again, Coach.
What was your WOW acronym?
Wow. It just meant walk and widen. And at 12 yards, he's sitting between the corner and safety on the tick marks. But it just
gotcha.
widen. And basically, we use basic R4. We're not an R4 team by any means. If I tried to teach Sean Sutton R4, his brain would explode. But it's very similar, to the hard deck is, you've got till we say 5 yards to push that guy. If that guy wants to come down at 5 yards, start walking and widening. Otherwise, you just outside release and take that guy with you.
Yeah, we do the exact same thing. I just didn't have that terminology. I like that terminology. Each of the guys.
Yeah, I like it a lot too, Coach. We're going to probably be a heavy 2-back team next year. I got enough dudes to really get into it with our run game and our passing game. So talking RPOs, we love to RPO, essentially just RPO stick off of it. We'll use the same fast motion, use it all, and we'll tell him now. Only difference is we definitely want to win inside leverage. We're expecting.
I was getting ready to say, Coach, your YouTube video on the peak RPO.
Yep.
I mean, it's stick route 101 at the same time. You might not need anything else depending on what you get. I mean, really, it's as a defense coordinator guy, again, like we said, you're trying to get him to read hats. You're going to be in trouble.
Well, I think too. I think one of the easiest as far as RPOing it is we will run just the swing screen out here. Nobody triggers, throw the screen, and we'll straight up block. And I like to, and if we're not getting pressed with number one, we call it, we cheese it. So we'll cross block it out there. One of the things that lets us do is very naturally off of it, we can run what's essentially snag with the outside receiver and show the same look and play action it now instead of RPO it. And because that's where I want to live, man. I want to build things, and it's what we've tried to do is build things that are going to present the same picture but give us answers.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with wing T football. Let's win a whole bunch of ball games. It's just that's not what's going to excite our kids and get them fired up to play on Friday night. But we can still think that same way, you know. And so that's kind of been part of my focus this off season is trying to think that way and take that idea of everything's in a series and really making it part of who we are and what we can be. So, men, I appreciate you coming. If I stay on here much longer, my wife is probably going to hate me, and I wouldn't blame her for it. Man,
well, I had to head outside. The whole family came in. That's why I went on mute and started looking for a place to go. I thought we were going to be done by the time they got back.
Yelled at me for being too loud. So
well, I'm in the bedroom. I got clothes in here I need to fold. I got all sorts of stuff. But look, fellas, do me two things. One, if you think about something that could have been better, something that I need to fix, if I'm going to keep doing this, shoot me a note on Twitter. Just DM me. Two, we're going to be doing them some more, man. There's no telling how long we're going to be at home, and it's hard not being around those kids every day because I get a chance to see every one of ours every day in the weight room and talk ball with them and just be around them, and that's not happening right now. So I'm going to need y'all to help pull me through. So next Monday, I'm going to shoot it out. I'm going to plan on Monday right now. But on Monday, maybe Wednesday, and then we'll kind of go from there. But probably do one on maybe just RPOs, but one on zone blocking, and we'll kind of try to hit everything. So, man, I'd love y'all coming on. If you want to share one time, I'll set it up. We'll do it all, and then we'll let y'all run the show. So, appreciate it, fellas. Have a good one.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, putting this together, Pete.
No doubt, man.
Coach,
Hey, throw your handles down if you got Twitter in the chat box real quick in case, you know. It's always great to be able to chat with guys.
Now, what if we don't know it, though? I know I'm at Coach. I just don't know if it's at Coach Corley, at Coach _Corley.
I don't even know where the chat thing is.
Hell, Coach, just.
I know, that's what I was looking. I was like, where's the chat thing? I'm not.
It's CHAT at the bottom down there.
All right, Stilts, come on, man.
There he is. Coach speaks. Hold on now. I gotta do me some. I just don't know which one I am.
Well, while I got you on too, guys, Coach Monroe, Coach DeWeese, again, don't mind if I tag you my tips of the day. I can move on if it's, again, it's just again, a couple guys that
family.
I appreciate it, man. Keep tagging me. It's a good little reminder for me every day.
Yes, please add me to that because I don't get it until Pete puts them back out.
Yeah, I love the coach.
Gotcha.
Daddy,
Yeah, buddy.
I want some of my water.
Okay, buddy. Coach Crabtree, what's up, man?
What's up, Shake?
Living the dream, brother.
I'm with you. Trying to learn a forward pass.
I bet you. Y'all don't know this, man. Coach Crabtree runs a smokestack eye, dude.
Have a good night, fellas.
Yes, sir. You too.
See you guys. Enjoyed it.
All right, man. I'm shutting this thing down. Y'all have a good one.
Be good. I appreciate you.
No doubt, man. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir.
All right.